So if you are the founder of the organization, the president, and you are delivering services, you can get paid because you are delivering services. So suppose you are a social worker and you're doing the case management, or let me take it back. You're the art teacher and you are doing art classes. You're able to find funding to underwrite the cost of delivering services. Well, one is to pay the art teacher. Being that you are the art teacher, yes, if it's written in the budget, you can get paid to be the art teacher. Budget, the first time I mentioned that word. By show of hands, how many of you spend a lot of money on your passion project and can tell me down to the dollar how much money it costs you every year that you cannot claim on your taxes because it's not a legal business entity? You can document it as a hobby, but I don't think that you can do that anymore, but I'm not a CPA. The important thing about knowing how much money you're spending is so you know how much money to ask for when you're soliciting support and help. So if you know to put together these hygiene kits, it's going to cost you $500 because you want to make or create 1,000 kits. And so you divide 500 by 1,000, you get the cost for each kit. And then it's easier to say to people, I need to raise $1,000 to make 500 kits to put together for our hygiene packet. I'm using small numbers trying to keep my math straight, but knowing how much money you need to raise. So this is the thing, I'm going to go back again. Your passion project. For those of you who have passion projects who have not started your nonprofit organization and you're still doing this, you need to write down, save your receipts, and have an idea of how much money you're spending every month or every year for your passion project. And you put it into categories. If your passion project is doing the same thing over and over and over again, that means you have one program. But if it's doing the same thing for different age groups, it's a program, but it has different target audiences. So you may be collecting hygiene kits, and maybe you only collect for women of childbearing age, 12 to 44. That's one program. That's one activity. That's your claim to fame. But now you decide you want to do something for men. That's a different audience with probably a different type of package that you're putting together. So now that's two. Are y'all still with me? So along with taking this passion project to be a full-fledged organization, you have to have a budget, you have to have volunteers, and you may have to pay people to do some things. You will probably have to pay someone to do your taxes. There are plenty, well, not plenty, there are some very good nonprofit CPAs that are out here. And I know for sure bookkeeping for nonprofit organizations is different than bookkeeping for for-profit organizations. And you can Google that. So there's more than QuickBooks, but there's other applications and softwares that you can use to help keep track of your nonprofit budgets. So once you begin to collect how much money you're spending and what you're spending it on, that's how you begin to know how much money you need and what the ask is. I'm going to check to see, and I'll be better next time. I'm going to check to see this checking to see any more questions. Nothing in the chat room right now. Okay. Next question. One of the people mentioned about helping Haitian children learn more about their culture. There's always an exception to the rule. Grant money for nonprofit organizations is normally money utilized in the United States of America. We do hear about overseas and global projects. There's different funding sources and different ways that you raise money for international projects. When you're looking at grants or people who are funding activities, they have guidelines on what they can and can't do, or better yet, what you can and can't do with their money. So I'm going to recap. You have your passion project. You decide that it's costing you a lot of money. You're doing great work. You are able to see that you are increasing. You're making an impact. You're making a difference. You're making a difference because the people that you are serving are telling you you're making a difference. You're making a difference because the people that are helping you are saying you're making a difference. You're making a difference because you know in your heart, you see where you started with your passion project and where it's going. So suppose in the beginning, and I'm using someone's story, you started off doing 50 hygiene kits for your birthday. And 5 years later, you're up to 1,000 hygiene kits. So that shows that there's a need, and you're not doing it by yourself because now you've recruited other people to help you with this activity. So you have taken your passion project, you've made it personal, you've made it inspirational, and you made it into a movement. When people follow you and join you in your passion project, it is the best way to segue, I'm gonna say like the segue into starting your nonprofit organization because you're not alone. There's people that are with you in the trenches that have seen what you're doing and is a part of what you're doing. And so, again, you are not alone. Your board members are there, but you have to have good communication with your board members. You have to also provide organized, structured training for your board members because they don't know. We didn't go to school to learn how to be board members. Those of us that are involved in board of directors for organizations didn't know. We may have gotten involved through church activities, through student activities at school, through sororities or civic organizations. And then as we networked and went into our professional careers, we began to get invited because of our credentials, or our experience, or our passion, got invited to be on other boards. You also learn by seeing and participating. You also learn about taking your passion project to being a full nonprofit organization with a 501c3 by being a good volunteer for other organizations. Not to go there to steal their secret sauce, but to go there and learn. And it could be an organization that does something similar to what you're doing. It helps you say, I'm on the right track. It builds your confidence. It also gives you a different look or point of view on how to reach the same goal. Almost every restaurant has a cheeseburger, but every restaurant's cheeseburger tastes different, but they have a cheeseburger. Heck, Burger King has a taco. So it's okay to volunteer for an organization and even let them know why you want to be a volunteer for that organization, because it strengthens the community. There's enough work for everyone. And if you approach this with the spirit of collaboration and support, there's not, or there shouldn't be any, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, not wanting to share. It's reciprocity. You could start off as a volunteer. You could approach organizations to volunteer for special projects. There's so many ways that you can really get information. There's trainings like this that will also help your board of directors. There's staff trainings. I'm going to say this. Grants and your activities. Some of the very passion projects that you're doing There is funding out there for that absolute thing you're doing. However, you're eligible if you're not a 501c3 organization.